Well, here we are up at the Frederick Street Reserve, and it is a massive display up here of motorcycles. It is the Australian Four Day Enduro Championships, and there are representatives here from every state in Australia, and it was so good to be involved in their welcome at the basketball stadium on Monday night when they were briefed on their rules and regulations, and I went along and had a little yarn to them and welcomed them to our part of the world. And very nice lot of people, very cooperative, and I must say they are not the general cross-country road bike persons that you sometimes run into that disregard the environment. These people are protecting the environment. They've got ground sheets on the ground for any fuel spillage, and when they fuel up out in the environment, that sheet goes back on the ground too to catch anything that may cause damage to people's pastures or our beautiful bush that they're travelling in. In this compound here there are 235 motorcycles, and they are in the vicinity between $10,000 and $15,000 a cycle, and you're looking at about close on $3 million worth of motorcycles there. And can you imagine the spin-off to our community and the CBD and the dollar value that this brought to Wynyard, this event? And I'd like to congratulate the conveners of this event. It's all due to the fact that we have a local champion in young Matt Phillips, and Matt's a big world champion on the world champion scene, and he's a local lad and his parents are here, and they are the driving force behind bringing this to Tasmania, and then on the other hand to Wynyard. So this is a great event for Tassie, a great event for Wynyard. The extent of it is over 4 days, and it winds up at the Dial Motocross Centre on Saturday, with the final result being known there late in the afternoon. Each day they travel out into our bush and our environment on a time trial from here at Frederick Street, and then they have a track session at the Dial Motocross Centre on Saturday, as I said, and that'll bring us a final result on who the Australian Four Day Champion is. There are various sections and various horsepowers, and I just spoke to a chap that's in the veterans, and he said, well, you've got to keep going. He said, if you give up you start to get old, and he's just had a hell of a day out in our environment in the back blocks around Wynyard, and people I speak to are just so taken with our environment and our little town, and our town's been stretched to the limits. Our food and beverage and accommodation centres are just stretched to the limit. Some of the people I've spoken to are accommodated between from Crayfish Creek to Penguin and Ulverston. So look, I'm sure our CBD will have enjoyed the dollar value turnover that this has brought. This event, on top of a fortnight ago's Tulip Festivals that we had here in Wynyard, and the success of that is just one huge boost to our economy, and I'd like to recognise the fact of the importance of events of this nature in our community. In the economic climate that we're in, we need a boost of this nature, and we'll dodge around a little further and we'll have an interview shortly with some of the riders and how they found the terrain compared to other parts of Australia. So just stay by and we'll go for a little further. Well, there we are. We're back after that footage we previously took, and we found the officials that are responsible for bringing this big event to Wynyard and all the work behind it, and gathering the volunteers together. Volunteers were very important. But anyway, I'd like to introduce Peter DeHaan from Ulverston, Chris Gray from Victoria, and the mighty Glenn Phillips from Wynyard. Now Glenn is the father of our world champion Matt, our local boy. You don't mind if further in our conversation I refer to Glenn as Yogi? Will that be okay?
That'll be fine.
I feel it's disrespectful, but then we all know you, boy, mate. Yeah, well look fellas, this event for our community is the biggest spin-off on top of our Tulip Festival a fortnight ago, and then to have this now, and we're so glad it came to our town. We are. And I guess you three fellas are the responsible ones, and I'd like to thank you personally for doing that, because this man, he would have, for Tassie to get the event, and then for Wynyard to be the host now. So that's good. Anyway, I'd just like to ask you how the event's going. How's things going, Chris?
Well, from my side of things, I'm probably one of the organisers to try and just make sure the event runs while it's here, and Tell you what, Robbie, you couldn't have done any better for us here. This is fantastic. The stuff you've got set up, all the room you've given us.
Yep.
We've got the bush right in our backyard.
Yep.
We're straight out in it. Where you've let us go is fantastic. And the weather's even perfect.
Yeah.
It's sunny during the day, a little rain at night, and that's what we love.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful.
No, well, look, believe me, what we've done is only a small token to what your contribution's been. Look, the grounds are here. We love it. We just loving them being utilised, and so look, your volunteers that's come out of the woodwork, you need them, don't you?
Oh, you can't do it without them. Like, this event, I don't know, 90 odd volunteers plus going into this event, as well as all the guys who are pre-riding it. These guys have been working on it for 8 months.
Yeah, I know. When Glenn said he was starting on it, I thought, how many disturbing moments is he going to have trying to get through to people, and the negotiations he's had to have and things like that. I know, look, I worked for Forestry Taz for 25 years, and I know when it comes to getting an event on in there, bush and things like that, the red tape, but other organisations like Tasrail or the highways and the police, but everyone's, I'm amazed that you're able to use the roads like you have.
Yeah.
The police have cooperated.
Yeah.
And down at the briefing the other night, that police officer, he represented two really sensibly, didn't he?
Yep. No, he's fantastic. And credit to these guys, because they've obviously worked with all these different departments to get it across the line.
Yep.
And we all know departments, sometimes there's a bit of paperwork involved. I don't know if that was Yogi's part or Pete's part. But anyway, look, the amount of paperwork involved and everything that goes into organising behind the event to actually get to race day and it just work without any issues has been fantastic. And these guys, credit to all. And credit to all the volunteers.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it without them.
No.
Couldn't.
No. And on Saturday it all winds up at Dial Park at the end, what do you call that? The Euro track?
The Coastal Motocross Club at Penguin on, is that Minna Road, is it?
Dial Road.
Dial Road, yeah.
That's a wind-up day, and that's when we'll know the winner.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get as many members of the public there for about sort of 10 o'clock on, Pete.
Yep.
And they come along, there'll be plenty of food and drinks and entertainment for everyone. So, come along, and we hope to get 3,000 or 4,000 people there. So.
That's good. I'm sure it'll be packed.
Yeah.
Because with the communications and the contacts we've had at the council, we're going to go and look at this event, and whereabouts around the joint can we get a bit of a look at what's happening? And it hasn't been able to be. It's a competitor sport, not a spectator sport at this stage until it goes to a track.
Correct.
Yeah. And we've conveyed that. But anyway, look, the food and beverages and the accommodation in our town's been stretched to the limit.
That's good, isn't it?
We went down last night down to the pub and it's feeding down there and the place was full and it was fantastic. She was wrapped. She said, well, normally we're closed by now.
Yeah.
I said, well, we're here, so let's go.
Yep.
It was good.
Monday night or Monday night, the fish and chip shop ran out of food on
Beautiful.
But there was a boat come in on Tuesday and I witnessed the crazy fish he was getting on.
That's good, isn't it?
And he was up at the bank with the armour guard.
I bet he would have done right out of it.
But anyway, the big question is, folks, how's our world champion going? How's Matt going?
Well, we've got no results as yet today, fortunately. He got second in a couple of tests earlier on, and he's pretty confident. I think he'll be holding his own towards the end of the week, but it's a long week.
Yep.
That's why it's a 4-day event, not a 1-day event.
Yeah, that's right. We'd have loved to have talked to him. We'd love to have spoken to him. But, I know he's not one for the limelight. He's a quiet boy like his dad. Until he has a couple
of beers, that's right. Yeah.
But anyway, look, this will go on our YouTube this afternoon or in the morning.
Excellent.
And you dial in Waratah-Wynyard, www.Waratah-Wynyard Council. Up she comes. And across the top you've got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, press YouTube, and up will come the Mayor's video.
Oh, beautiful.
So look, I hope you tune into it. I reckon this one will get 1,000 hits. We're sure. Yeah, I really do. There's so much interest in our community, and everyone's talking about it. The little top service station down here, someone said,
Dwayne.
He said there was 100 jerry cans sitting out there waiting to be filled up. But anyway, I thank you for bringing the event to Wynyard. I really do.
No worries.
Well, the council's been fantastic, Robbie. They've helped us out immensely. Anything we asked for, they couldn't do enough for us.
You got on all right with them, Glenn?
Really great.
Well, that's good.
That's good, isn't it?
I'll pass that on to the GM because he is
Richard
a very...
Wilson, he's been fantastic.
Ashley and the girls, and fantastic.
Janine at the front counter, nothing's a problem.
Well, I tell you what, this will thrill our GM because he's very, very conscious of customer service.
Yeah,
It really is. So thank you very much for being with me. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
mate. Right,
Awesome.
all the best.
See you later. Bye.